Hey, how we doing, everybody? It's another beautiful day in here in the Cheesy Moon Workshop. OPD here. Today, while the wife was making me clean up my Cheesy Moon Workshop corner in the dining room here, going through things, getting organized and cleaned up a little bit, and I cracked open the knives I picked up at the thrift store in Columbus, Georgia. And if you guys in that area, I believe the name was Joey's or something like that. Go check them out. But I was going through the bag of parts knives, and a lot of people at the knife show in Ellaville were welcome to dig through there, and I sold a few and gave a couple away. And today, I thought I had these marked, but the little markers fell out. But today I was going through those knives, and I came up with this one here. Found out this was made by the Challenge Cutlery Corporation out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, and it dates from 1891 to 1928. That's in remarkable condition for a knife that the earliest or latest it could be is 1928. You see here, Challenge, it says Challenge Cutlery Co. Bridgeport. So, little three-bladed knife. I didn't clean it up. I just used the old pencil trick, and there is the tang stamp on that little blade as well. And I'm always hesitant to open multi-blade knives, especially that are rusty. And this is a nail file on that blade. I thought it was chipped, but that's just how it's designed. All right, so it's a little nail file. So it's a pretty neat little knife. I'm gonna go through the process of cleaning it up. And so it's well over 100 years old, which I thought was pretty cool. Still has great snap. All right, so there was that one in there. And then this knife here, this knife, pulled a little tag I made out of there. This knife, I had to use vice grips and put this in a vise and use vice grips to open that blade. But once I got it open and oiled it up a little bit, I haven't cleaned it, just oiled this pivot. It somewhat snaps, so that'll definitely improve once I go to clean it. But great snap closing. But this knife was made by the American Knife Company out of Germany, and I believe that went from like the 60s. So that was a pretty cool little knife, and that'll clean up. And this will be I guess it's not a super rare knife. Kind of a Warncliffe style blade there. That'd be a nice little daily carry. And I was really surprised that after I got it open and could see who it was made by. So that was two decent little knives. And then this knife here, the tang stamp is very, very faded, but I was able to make out the bottom line there. And from the very faint top of that I can see, I believe this to be a Cattaragus little pen knife. Unfortunately, this blade has been broken off, and that's what's left of it. But someone put an edge on it. And they're like, by God, I'm not going to let this one go. So, but that's a neat little knife. And I guess this is somewhat still functional. Open an envelope or open some packaging or whatever. But from what I could tell, the best I could tell, this is a little Cattaragus pen knife. And of course, they were around from 1886 to 1963. This is probably a 60s knife. Bone handles, worn down pretty smooth. So that was a pretty neat find. I don't want to warp that. So that was pretty cool. And then this old knife here, this was a Utica cutlery from the 20s. This one also needed some persuading on this pen blade, but using the old number 2 pencil trick, I was able to clean that off and see what it is. This will clean up pretty nice, I believe. Some faux imitation pearl. That snap will come back. Maybe that will, don't know. And then last but not least, if I can try to tuck that in somehow, there was this little knife here, which I initially just passed off as some little novelty knife. Very pretty mother of pearl, and it has these okay, to focus, these markers in there. There's a crown, a lion, letter I, and a WN. And after quite a bit of research, I found this to be a Victorian fruit knife by Lee and Wigful out of Sheffield from 1893. And the latest it could be is 1926. But according to that, get it to focus again, according to that stamp right there, it was from 1893, which is pretty amazing for that still be around and in that good a shape. The spring is worn out. Those back springs get wore out and don't push the blade down, so the blade sticks up. Now, I sent Kevin, the knife doctor, a Cattaragus knife one time, and the same thing, and everybody thinks that it's been modified. It's just what happens is the back spring gets a divot in there and it becomes weak, and then it won't allow the blade to stay down, and it doesn't have a snap. But just a neat knife, not really worth anything. I think they sell for maybe $20 or $30. And then there's other neat find I found here. This knife was made, focus, Evansville, Indiana, the Belknap Hardware Company. That company was in existence from 1840 to 1986. Judging from the condition, the wear on this scales on this knife, I'm guessing this was probably 50s or 60s. This blade has somewhat of a hard time opening. And just a little pen blade. At first I thought it had been broken, but after looking at it, that's just how small it was. And then there's the main blade here, which has been whittled down quite a bit. Get this little one, it still got snap. Focus, there we go. It's been whittled down quite a bit, but still a fair amount of blade on there. Cleaned up, polished up, oiled up. That would also make a nice little daily carry. Again, not some extremely rare knife, but I was just surprised that I went through that bag of quote-unquote parts knives and came up with somewhat collectible knives here. I'll certainly add them to my collection until maybe next year, if I'm welcomed at the 2025 Ellaville Knife Show. I may take them up there. It'd be great for someone else's starter collection or whatever, But there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 knives out of the 12 or 13 that were in there as parts. A couple were truly broken and tore up, and I just disposed of them because nothing about them was really salvageable. But that was pretty sweet, and I think most of these, once I cleaned them, I might do a couple short videos of cleaning some of these up. These two really don't need a whole lot because they weren't that rusty, but this one, again, pliers and a vice grips and a vise to get that open. But there you go. Just thought I'd share that with everybody. This guy I probably will just add to my collection, this Cattaragus. But there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, hit the notification bell, and above all, have a beautiful day.